The University of Oklahoma is home to one of the most storied intercollegiate athletics programs in the nation. The Sooners boast 26 national titles, 248 conference titles, and more than 1,300 All-Americans. The very mention of the word Sooners evokes a sense of tradition that is synonymous with winning. A tradition bolstered by one of the most recognizable college fight songs in the country. For nearly a century, the Pride of Oklahoma Marching Band has been supporting Sooner spirit and the legends that have donned the crimson and cream. Their efforts are forever etched in the record books, and their accomplishments are among the most prestigious in the history of college sports. The list of legendary athletes that hail from the University of Oklahoma goes on for a country mile. The Sooners football program boasts 7 national championships and 5 Heisman Trophy winners, with another 6 finishing as runner-up. But the success doesn't stop there. Oklahoma's decorated athletics program reaches well beyond football. The Sooners' storied athletics program has won national championships in wrestling, baseball, softball, men's golf, and has had enormous success with the men's gymnastics team, raking in 8 national titles, and 5 of those were earned since 2002. Beginning this football season, 2 of the biggest names in college sports are joining forces to bring you Sooner Sports, powered by Fox Sports. It's a game-changing partnership that brings Sooner fans more coverage than ever before. And it's your ticket to exclusive content, from coaches' shows and press conferences to the latest highlights and classic footage. Sooner Sports, powered by Fox Sports, puts Oklahoma sports fans right where they want to be.
My name is Kenny Mossman, and I want to welcome everybody here today for this celebration. I remember a few years ago when we sat around meeting tables and Joe Castiglione began to talk about his interest in spreading the Sooner message in a television and new media package that would exceed anything that we had seen before. And I'm going to be very honest with you, a few of us walked out of those boardrooms shaking our heads, thinking that our leader had perhaps lost it. And what had happened was that typical of a good leader, he had vision that exceeded what the rest of us were able to see at that point. But Joe and the leadership of this university had a thought in mind and a goal, and they've reached it. And I think it's a great thing for this place, and particularly great to be associated with a company as profound as Fox. So it's my pleasure to welcome to the microphone our Vice President, Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at the University of Oklahoma, and a true visionary, Joe Castiglione.
Thank you. Thank you, Kenny, for that nice introduction, and thank all of you who have made time today to be with us. This really is a celebration of an expanded partnership with a number of different people we have worked with over the years, but certainly not at this level, and certainly not with this level of innovation and creativity and involvement. And we want to, on behalf of all of us at the University of Oklahoma, our President David L. Bourne, and our Board of Regents, to thank all the members of the Fox Sports Division, Fox News Corporation, for joining in this very unique partnership with the University of Oklahoma. And many of the members are, there's quite a few members of the Fox team that flew out from California that are here we'll introduce shortly. But I spoke of the OU leadership team. As Kenny mentioned, the planning for this started over 5 years ago, and our team, led by our president, David Bourne, and the regents and those that have been on the board since, supported the idea of doing something in an innovative way. And that began with the replacement of video boards in the stadium here, as well as the Lloyd Noble Center. And why that was a sort of a breakthrough moment was because we had a chance to not just get the new video board technology up in front of our fans, but to think about what would power those video boards. You know, the world was changing to high definition. We knew we had to have state-of-the-art equipment, but we wanted to make sure that we used it in many more ways than just for the video boards themselves. And what we were trying to do then is what we've always tried to do, is to provide as much reach and involvement and engagement for our fan base, not just here in Oklahoma or throughout this region, but across the country, if not across the world. And we know people all across the world are watching what we do. We hear from them all of the time. And so we wanted to find a way to position ourselves for the new media world. And that's what created that vision and what we have here today. This agreement opens even greater window of our campus. We'll put on over 1,000 hours of programming on the various Fox Sports platforms. It's 10 times more programming than we've ever done before. We'll have the technology developing through the next several years to create opportunities through digital and social media. So this strategy is positioned to put OU everywhere our fans are. That's the goal. We want to reach our current fans and try to win a few more new fans over. Again, we have to thank the people of Fox. It's a world-class media partner. They've been long since committed to college athletics, although you know their unique position in the world of sports across this country and across the globe, from the NFL and Super Bowls to World Series and NASCAR, the World Cup. They are everywhere themselves. And of course, having a partner like that, we get a chance to be a lot of other places too now. And again, the biggest winner in all of this is our fans. Just for those who haven't read the articles that came out in the last week, this is an opportunity for the University of Oklahoma to take people inside the athletic program. They get to see more events than they've ever seen before. Commonly referred to now as the third tier of video content. That's not necessarily an ordinal rank, but the way that we still have access to video content after the agreements that we have in place with our conference are engaged. This will get us a chance to put people in front of our sports programs that have been growing, not just in size, but in stature. We've had 3 of the best years as we move toward comprehensive excellence in our sports programs than we've had in a long time, if ever, in the history of the University of Oklahoma athletic program. And we want to take the stories that make what we do special. That's focusing on now over or almost 600 student athletes to the people of this country. And to do that, we have to have partnerships. Fox, what we're celebrating today, our longstanding partnership with Learfield, and they're very involved in this effort as well. Other members that are here, and I'd like to recognize them from Learfield. There's Roger Gardner, there's Tim Klein, Andrew Wheeler, Andy Rawlings. From Griffin Communications, David Griffin is here. And from our radio partnership with Brenda and Tyler Media, Tony Tyler and Jim Williston. This is the eyes and the ears of OU sports for many of our fans. And to take on this type of endeavor, we could not do it without all of you. And I also want to thank the staff here at the University of Oklahoma that have worked so hard behind the scenes to make this happen. Again, it's a collective effort here. It's never about one person. Kenny Mossman, you met, Larry Nafee, and our legal counsel, Anil Galahali, Jamie Hammer, and our sports consultant, Lee Burke, along with Neil Pilson, who's also a media consultant for us. And the person that's probably doing the most behind the scenes to make it happen is our Assistant Athletic Director, Brandon Meyer, and his staff at Sooner Vision. Talk about a number of hours that they have committed to get this program and programs on the air, and to do it in the way they're doing it is quite remarkable. So I appreciate them and all the other members of our staff that have worked hard to make this day possible. So with that, I'd thank you again. I'll be available for any of you who want to ask questions later on, but I'd like to ask Kenny to come back up, and we'll continue on with our program. Thank you very much for being here.
The World Series, the Daytona 500, the World Cup, the NBA, the NHL, the UFC, the Cotton Bowl, the Pac-12 Championship, the Big Ten Championship, and the Super Bowl. Now, the Big 12 joins the home of the biggest events in sports. Fox Sports. Our commitment to college sports is unprecedented.
The momentum has shifted.
Fox Sports will deliver the largest distribution platform available on national television with the most innovative production in sports.
Oh, he handed it off! Touchdown!
Led by the thrilling play-by-play team of Gus Johnson and Charles Davis.
Oh, what a catch!
Plus, a dazzling new set for studio shows. Anchored by Aaron Andrews, alongside Eddie George and Joey Harrington.
Wide open! Touchdown!
Elevating the Big 12 to a whole new level. And Fox will unleash the power of News Corp, marketing the Big 12 like never before.
How about that?
Sports aren't just for TV anymore. From streaming live games to Scout.com and social media, fans will be connected across platforms.
Unbelievable!
Fox Sports welcomes the University of Oklahoma.
It can happen! Believe!
Get ready for a new era.
You can see why we're so thrilled to have a partnership with Fox and the many great things that Fox brings, and to think that they're joining with us now is a real thrill for everybody at Oklahoma. And to represent Fox, I want to bring up one of their senior vice presidents, and he's in charge of things at Fox Southwest. We've worked with him for a long time as a great partner with the Big 12. Please welcome John Heidke.
Thank you all for having us today. Every time I see that video, it gives me chills. It's pretty impressive stuff that for some of you who may remember 20-some-odd years ago when we launched as HSE, Home Sports Entertainment, and we had to go knock on every cable door in Oklahoma to finally get us all carried on to see what we are today. It's been that pretty amazing ride. A couple of things, too, to talk about today is one is you can see our commitment to the Big 12, that what Fox is doing on a global basis, and their investment into the league. I think it's really helped it certainly give it that stability with our new deal with ESPN on a national basis. And those deals have allowed us to kind of, now that deal's done, it's allowed us to kind of look at the third-tier deals that Joe has talked about. And as we first sat down with Joe and his team probably 18 months ago, almost 2 years, and started talking about these visions, you sit there, and Joe always used a word that we've always wanted to kind of work around as well, too, was sustainable. We need to find a sustainable model. And I think when you look at what we've been able to work with here, and you saw some of the work that Brandon Meyer's done, and we first got a chance to look at the infrastructure that you guys had here, it's a pretty amazing television infrastructure for what the school has done in terms of where they are with HD. I get a chance to travel around the country a lot and see a lot of other schools, and believe me, people say they're doing things, but what you've got here is really special and unique. And so that made it really intriguing for us to want to continue to move down this path. And I think, again, when you look at the end of the day, this market, these schools, what we're doing with the Big 12, it really couldn't be a better fit. So we are truly excited to be part of this. And what you talk about Fox and all their platforms with our Fox Sports Oklahoma, and be able to take all of this new Sooner product, over 1,000 hours, and marry it with the Thunder. And we think certainly they're on a great trajectory track right now with what they're doing in the NBA. The high school relationships that we have here. We've just got, I think, a great story to tell, and we're just getting started. One of the other good things about this process, too, is that when we talk about the sustainability is, if you look around, new networks are launching quite often. One of their challenges is distribution. And we're immediately able to clear the entire state of Oklahoma. And the other thing for Sooner fans, not just in Oklahoma, but south of the Red River and other markets in our region, the majority of this product is going to be available to those Sooner fan bases throughout the overall footprint of the Southwest, which is roughly about 10 million television households. So we think that's, again, part about that sustainability. Sooner fans are going to get instant access to this great product. So we couldn't be happier working with a great university. The vision that the athletic staff here has, the production people, what Brandon Meyer has. It's been you guys have got a treat, and we're excited to be part of that, and look forward to really bringing a lot of great Sooner content to fans across the region. And as Joe said, we've got a couple of other folks here from our market. Gary Ehrlich came up from Los Angeles today. He's been working a lot on our Big 12 deal and a lot of our college deal, so he'll be around to say hi to some of you folks. And I also wanted to introduce, we've got a couple of other folks from Los Angeles and very points. Charles Davis, if you don't mind coming up and giving a little bit of preview about the game this weekend. We've been partners with the Big 12 at Fox since its inception in 1996. And I think what's exciting to me, and I think Charles and I were just visiting on this a little bit, is, again, the growth that we've come, is that this will be the first Big 12 game that will be seen on Fox Broadcasting. So it'll be a pretty special experience for these guys, too. So let me turn it over to Charles, and he'll give you a little preview from the game standpoint. Thanks, buddy. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. And Gary, let me, as part of the Fox family, not only congratulate you for this partnership, Joe, and the rest of your great team. Congratulate you for that, and thank you, because what you guys have put together gives us an opportunity to call exciting games, some of the best football there is in the country. And before I go any further on this, coming back to Oklahoma for me is always a lot of fun. I've been doing it for years. It's almost like that, what Yogi Berra called deja vu all over again. When it was the Turner Sports package, when we were doing Pac-12 and Big 12 games, and coming back here, and my good friend Ron Thulin, who's an Oklahoma guy, and he and I would roll in here, and it always was nice. Guys like Kenny Mossman always greeted us with open arms and accessibility and gave us great help, and that continues on with Pete Morris now taking over for that role for Kenny and helping all of us get prepared. And I get here, and I get to see old friends like Eric Barnhart, I get to see Charlie Taylor, and so many other great Oklahoma people here. And this probably shouldn't go out anywhere because I'll be accused of bias once the game begins. But I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I married an OU girl. So every now and then, some intelligence rolls out. So I get lucky. Now, before I get into any of the other stuff, let me introduce the people that make us look as spectacular as that each and every week, because we really aren't. But these people make us look that way. That's Chuck McDonald. Where's Chuck? Stand up. Chuck McDonald is the producer for all of our games. Rich Dewey is our director and the person everyone wants to see. And first of all, I appreciate you all understanding that Gus Johnson is not here and that I am not Gus Johnson. I know it's a major downer and disappointment for everyone to hear me and not Gus. And trust me, it's a downer for me that Gus isn't here popping off a call for you. He got caught in, guess what? Transit because of airplanes and all that nowadays. Got delayed in Chicago. But the one that everyone will want to see, Julie, come up here, please. Julie Alexandria is our brand new sideline reporter, and we're so happy to have her as a colleague and part of our team. When we talk about Big 12 football and you talk about Oklahoma, again, I am in a tough spot here because you never want to be accused of bias because we call all these games. And none of us have any of that. The beauty of what we get to do is at the end of the day, you either get to rejoice or you agonize. We run to the airport. And we get on a plane and we go home and we start over again. But our number one goal is to try and call as fair a game as possible. The tough part is, no matter what you do, people are going to hear you like one team or the other. And I guess our goal is when we get to the airport, have fans from both sides say that we like the other team better. And if we have that, then we think we're down the middle a little bit. But when we're talking about Oklahoma, you're talking about one of the all-time brands in college football, in college sports. You know, there's a little blurb I did in the paper with the media guy here, Mel Brock, and a person wrote to me, and I don't think they got a little bit confused because I was comparing Colin Klein, the quarterback at Kansas State, and his style. He's a big, tall, strong kid, 6'5", 235, 240 pounds. His running style will not look like what you're used to seeing here from the days past when you ran the wishbone and ran people into oblivion and tried to hang a half 100 on people. All right? He doesn't look like Thomas Lott. He doesn't look like Steve Davis. He doesn't look like Jack Mildren. Okay? He doesn't look like J.C. Watts or Jamel Holloway. But the effect is similar because it's that heavy run, and then he's going to step back and throw it. And I remember growing up as a kid, and Steve Davis and those guys, heavy run, all of a sudden they'd step back coming down the line off the option, and next thing you know, there's Tinker Owens catching a pass. There's Keith Jackson catching a deep ball. You know, those were the things that I remember. I remember those wishbones coming at you. I remember coming here to this field and seeing that crown and you could see like the shoulders of the opposite team because Coach Whitzer wanted that bad boy going downhill at people when he pitched it. Now try and stop that as a defense. I remember all those great Oklahoma defenses. The 5-2, of course, started here with Coach Wilkinson. When you think about the coaching tree here, Benny Owen, Coach Wilkinson, Coach Switzer, Coach Stoops, there's not even room for us to talk about the success Chuck Fairbanks had. There are a lot of great people who came through here, a lot of great coaches, some who probably regretted that they didn't stay around a little bit longer and went to other places. Not to mention Coach Tatum by name or anything. But that's what it's like at this place. Each and every time you roll into Oklahoma, when you land at the airport in Oklahoma City, and the closer you get to Norman, you can feel it coming. You can feel the history. You feel the ghosts coming at you. As I told you, I married into an Oklahoma family. They say they have all the bumper stickers. Thank God for Mrs. Selman, one of the all-timers. This is that type of a place. We are fortunate at Fox Sports to be a part of that, and we will do our best to make sure that we uphold the brand that you've established here at Oklahoma. But we have a vested interest, too, because we think our brand's pretty strong, too. And we want to make sure we uphold it from our end, too. So on behalf of Gus, even though I shouldn't speak on his behalf, I will because he's not here, and Julie, and Chuck, and Rich, and the rest of our crew, we're going to do the best job we possibly can. The beauty is those student athletes out there, they're the focus, they're the story, they're why we show up each and every week, and we're lucky enough to do that. So thank you all very much. We're glad to be a part of this. Thank you.